Hello everybody from Erin's Monday and Tuesday 5 o'clock ballet. So obviously I'm not Miss Erin, I'm Missy, and I'm going to be doing a lot of the online classes because we're trying to keep everybody home and keeping them safe. So we're going to work on the things that you're working on in ballet right now. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to just do all of our beginning exercises in the center. So you don't have to worry about a bar or finding a chair or something the right height for a tiny human. So if we started with our feet together, then we're going to turn those toes out and we're keeping those heels together. And we have a nice big piece of pizza because that's our first position. And we use that one a lot. And we also will use second position a lot. You guys all know this and will remember this. So we're going to start in first position with our pliés, which means to bend. Plié is French for bend. And we're going to have demi-pliés or little pliés. So we're going to have 1 plié stretch and 2 plié stretch and 3 plié stretch. Then we tendu to second and we do the same 3 pliés in second. And then we're going to tendu back to first and then we're going to repeat or we're going to do it again. So we're going to do that with the music. All right, here we go. We have plie and stretch, we bend, and we're trying to squeeze those legs. So we're pushing them down, and we're squeezing them up, then we tendu. Now we're in second position. Make sure those knees are going out. Don't let them go forward, you want them to go out. And you go plie and stretch, and tendu back to first again. Plie and stretch, and 2, and stretch, and 3, and stretch, and tendu to second position. 1, and stretch, and 2, and stretch, and 3, and stretch, and tendu back to first. Good job! Very good. So now, we did our pliés. Now we're going to do our tendus. So if plie means to bend, tendu means to stretch. So we're going to have that same hands on our hips because it does help us just kind of stand up a little straighter. And we're going to do our tendus. Now when we do our tendus, we have to remember that we're sliding out and then we're going to slide back in. So you want to make sure that you're not just picking them up and kind of pointing them out there. You want to make sure that you're pushing it out and pulling it in and pushing it out and pulling it in. Push, just like you have a little piece of sandpaper on the bottom of your shoe. 4 times, and then we're going to do 4 times to the side. So we'll go 1 and a close and a 2. And I am trying to make sure that I do the left foot first so that I'm mirroring them so they can do the right because that's what they're accustomed to doing first. So we're going to do 4 to the front, 4 to the side, and then we will repeat. Okay, we get some music. Ready, here we go. Front and close, 2 and close, 3 and close, 4. Now to the side we go 1 and a close, and a 2 and a close. Push and pull and push and pull. Make sure those legs are straight and those feet are really stretched. Stretch and close. Then we go to the side for 1 and close, 2 and close, 3 and close, 4 and close. Good. Next, we are going to do grand battements. So grand battements are lifts. So we're going to lift those legs. Now, grand battements should be big lifts, but when we're a tiny human, we just kind of do as high as we can do and keep both of our legs straight. So they do not have to be very, very high. So when we do these, we're going to go like this. Point, lifted up, and point, and close. So we do our tendu, then we lift it up, point, and close. We tendu and we lift, and we're going to do those 8 times to the front. Okay, here we go. Ready for grand battements. Here we go. Ready, and straight as well. You want to make sure you're pressing both of those legs to be as straight and strong as you can. One, lift, point, and close. 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 Good. Very nice. Okay, now we're going to work on our releve. Now I always say that a releve, which means to rise up, is like an elevator. So I always ask the kids, what does an elevator do? And I always get the right answer, that an elevator goes up and down, and that's all that it does. So it goes up very carefully, and it comes down very carefully. And that's exactly what we have to do with ourselves when we do a releve. So we don't want to go up and then crash down, and we don't want any other movement going around. We just want to be like this. Releve, up on our toes and down. Now, the other key to success with this, when you're helping your little person do this, is when they do the releve, they want to have the bulk of their weight, if you look at my foot from the side, towards their big toe. You don't want to let their foot go like this, because we don't want to risk anybody hurting their little ankle. So you want to stay on the big toe. It's the big toe. It's meant to hold all of that. So we're going to have our arms down, and we're going to have 1 and down, and 2 and down. We're going to do that 8 times. The other thing that they need to be doing is they want to be pushing. So think about pushing up, and then they want to be pressing down. So it's like there's resistance. You don't want them to go up and then just crumble to come down. Those legs have to stay, the thighs have to stay pulled up, they have to be pushing up, and then their legs have to stay straight when they come down. Okay, we're going to do 8 releves. Ready, here we go up and down, 2 and down, 3 and down, 4 and down, 5 and down, 6 and down, 7 and down, 8 and down. Good. So I'm obviously running through these kind of quickly, and there's nobody here for me to correct. So you can certainly take your time when you're doing these, and they can do them more times, and really you can use any music at all, to do all of these exercises too. But we're just sort of running through so that you have an idea of what is going to be helpful for them to work on. So the next one that we're going to work on is called rond de jambe. Rond de jambe means around the leg. So we're going to start in our first position again. We can still have those hands on our hips, and we're going to point to the front, and then we're going to slide it around to the side, and then we slide it around to the back, and then we slide it into first. So we're going to do that 2 times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then we're going to do the other foot. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We're going to do it 2 times. Then we're going to go backwards 2 times each. So we'll go back and then side and then front, and we'll do the other foot. So we're going forwards and around, which is called ande or outside. So it's like a doorway. So they go out the door and go around. And when we go backwards and around, that's called ande dans, because it's coming in towards your center, not going out away from your center. Just to give you a little bit of French terminology today as well. Okay, so rond de jambe. Ready? Here we go. Front and side and back. Close first. And front and side and back. Now the other foot goes front and side and back. Close first. And front, side, back. Now we go backwards. We go back and side and front. Close first. To the back and the side and the front. Close first. And I only did 1, sorry. 2, 3, and close. Good. one is called pas de bourrée. So when I do this with the music, I'm actually going to put my back to the camera so that they can be doing it. This one, it kind of does matter which way that you go. And pas de bourrée can be done many different ways, but the primary teaching method is back, side, front. So back, side, front. So we're going to start facing into our mirror, and I'm going to have my heels here in first position, and then I'm going to point out to the side. That's the foot I'm going to go with, and then I'm going to step. We don't worry about being on our toes yet, we just worry about where we're going. I'm going to step in the back, and then this foot out to the side, and then this foot in the front. And then I point this foot, and I go back, side, front, point. So this foot steps behind me, this foot steps out to the side of me, this foot steps in the front of me, and then I'm ready for the other side. I go back, side, front. Now, as we get older, this translates into things like 1 and 2 and we can do it as back, front. We can do it all different kinds of ways, and it picks up speed and adds all kinds of other elements, and it also makes a turn. So pas de bourrée is a pretty important step. So just simply getting that back, side, front motion is incredibly helpful. So this will be a good one for you to work on at home. Okay, we're going to try it with some music. We go back, side, front, point. 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 Good. So I tried to do it slow. It doesn't necessarily jive up with the music all that great. And they may be a little farther along than that in how fast that they can do it. So just kind of go with their speed. And then if they're really getting the hang of it, have them do it so that they go up, up, down, and then they can still point if they want. Up, up, down, point. Up, up, down, point. So that you get those two first steps up on their releves is kind of the next step to that. Okay, so the next step that we're going to work on, I will also do with my back to the camera so that they're getting the feeling for how it's going to look and they can follow me when they're watching it on TV. So we're going to work on balance. And balance is going to go brush, step, step, brush, step, step. So it's a waltz. So we're going to start in our first position. And for this one, we are going to use our arms. So here's my arms in a nice second position. We're going to go like this. We're going to brush out to the side, and we go step, step, brush, step, step, brush, step, step, brush, step, step. So this foot brushes out, I step, and I do a little step, which is a ball change kind of in dance. And I go brush, step, step, brush, step, step, brush, step, step. And that's a balance. So we're going to do a few of those with the music. Heels together first, arms. We go brush, step, step, 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 brush, step, step. Good. Okay, another good one to practice. Very good. All right, so in this age group, then after we would do our warm-up exercises and then we work on our few steps, we would do some things across the floor. And so things that you can work on with them, for them to go across the floor, include any kind of music. You're going to have them arms like they're holding a beach ball. And they're going to be first position, and then they're going to be up on their toes, and they're going to walk. So they're wanting to walk, keeping their heels kind of towards each other, and being up on that releve. So you're up, and you have a very good posture, and you're standing up straight and tall. Another one to work on across the floor would be chasse. So you're going to go sliding, sliding, sliding. So slide together across, and then you have to go to the left as well. Another one is step hop. So you can do your free leg in a lot of different ways, but what I would suggest is stretched out in the back. So they'll go like this. Step, hop, step, hop, step, hop, and keeping that back leg stretched out in the back. So those are things that they can work on in your living room, in your kitchen, in your garage, out in your backyard. If the weather ever gets nice, they can work on those step hops. And then they also need to be working on their dance, so which you have the video in the notes for. Now, one other exercise that we're going to work on today then has to do with their arms. And we would kind of do that when we were done with our warm-up or towards the end of class. So we're going to get in first position, and we're going to kind of work on the positions of the arms and the placement and the flow. And that's called port-de-bras, or carriage of the arms. So I'm going to start in first position. Here I am with these nice round arms, sort of like you have, we always say oranges in your armpits, or today the little cuties. You have those in your armpits, because you don't want your armpits to be stuck together. You want there to be some air. And then you're going to come up, round, and you're going to come up, and you're going to reach way out, and then the palms kind of come over to float, because you have to have some beauty with all of this technique. And those arms open, way up, and then they're going to kind of float down. We're going to do that 4 times. And then we're also going to, at the end of that, we're going to put our feet together, and we're going to roll down. So we're sliding our hands down to our feet, and then we're sliding our hands back up. So you can kind of see myself curl down. That's an important skill. So the head kind of comes down, all the way down to their toes, and comes back up. And we'll do that 4 times. All right, here we go. Okay. So standing up straight and tall, you have those nice rounded arms. 5, 6, ready, we go. Arms and arms. They reach out and they float down. Good, they go up and up and then out and they go down. Good. Up, and they come down. Good, now we're going to roll down with our feet together. So I go down. Good, trying to stay forward over your feet. Don't sit back on your heels. Down, and up, and up. Good. The other thing that they can be working on is their strength and their flexibility. So any kind of active outdoor play is going to help with that strength. And they can be participating in our splits challenge for the ice cream cones. And there are lots of stretching and flexibility exercises up on our YouTube channel. So until next time, everybody stay healthy.